Okay, who started this shit? Look, I'm gonna be upfront and say that I think the winner of this battle is pretty clear cut. The only way you can get the other to win is by being kinda dishonest in your scaling, or just puppeteering both guys to fight out of character. So to make it clear, I'll go over the scaling between the two by showing how a hypothetical battle would go. Oh yeah, I haven't clarified it yet, but I think Kashimo wins. As a starting point, let's go over the usual argument that you'd use to give Ryu the dub right away. How does Kashimo get off the lightning bolts if Ryu snipes him from a mile away? Now when I hear this, I'm like, do they read the same fight? Most fighters on that tier have shown the capability to dodge or counteract Ryu's granite blasts at range. Heck, Yuta can dodge what's essentially an artillery barrage of granite blasts while closing distance. Oh, but how does Kashimo scale to that? Well, the infamous... Now whether or not you think Yuta is stronger than Hikari or vice versa, at bare minimum this should be relative. Even if you rightly point out that overall Jackpot Hikari when putting pedal to the metal outspeeds him in hand to hand, he's not exactly blitzing as Kashimo can still perceive him and at times block his attacks. So what I'm getting at is that off-rip Ryu could fire his granite blast spam, but Kashimo will be able to dodge and evade most of them while he closes distance to get into close quarters range. And we know Ryu is not going to move to keep his distance cause he's more than willing to scrap at close ranges, so that's not a factor. Okay, so there are close ranges. Ryu definitely hits harder and is more durable, but Kashimo should be in the same weight class physically. And to be fair, Kashimo's electrical trait is meaningless here, cause Ryu's durability and cursed energy output in general should neg it much like Hikari's did. For what it's worth, I do think Kashimo is more skilled at hand to hand, being how he utilizes kicks, knees, elbows, and more acrobatic moves. But if the fight were just to stall here, Ryu would win eventually. He would take Kashimo's hits without incurring too much damage, while Kashimo wouldn't be able to take his as readily. But like you hear in any Kashimo fight, 3 hits and lightning bolts, you're on top. That said, I do have to get into a bit more detail, as this is usually where some people build their foundation for why Ryu wins. They believe he can tank the lightning bolt. This whole interpretation comes from the statement that Ryu has the highest cursed energy output in the games, so he should have the highest non-cursed technique AP in the series, at that point at least, and we've seen him tank his own granite blasts, so the lightning won't be able to rip through him like it did Hikari. Now, I disagree with this interpretation based on a number of factors, but the major one is how the attack functions. It has a form of Duraneg in how it affects the target. The positive charges he imbues inside his opponent serve as a receptacle for the negative charges in himself. The attack essentially travels inside the opponent's body before it meets the positive charges, and we literally see it do that when he fired it at Hikari's head. Now if they're in character, Ryu isn't going to be done just because of that. He's going to immediately fire off a granite blast to blow Kashimo back, so he can't do that again. Up close, Kashimo would have to block the granite blast a la Yuta style, and frankly, he should be able to do so. Okay, yes, I've been going to the Kashimo relative to Hikari relative to Yuta comparisons a lot, but this should be the last one. Yes, I've already mentioned that Jackpot Hikari has the edge in speed over Kashimo, but all other stats don't seem to be significantly different between the two. Kashimo could damage Jackpot Hikari, and it would make no sense for Hikari to lower his durability even when not going all out. Plus, even when he started going all out, it's not Kashimo couldn't take his punches, he probably hit him just as much then as he did when he was fighting reserved, and Kashimo left the battle largely unscathed. And the Hikari to Yuta durability chain is made pretty clear when they both revealed they had similar reactions to taking a blue amp punch from Gojo. So yeah, he can block the granite blast. He'd have a burned hand and be short a couple fingers though. Regardless, Ryu would keep piling pressure, and Kashimo has been shown to be open to a counterattack after he's neutralized his opponent, so he's gonna be sent flying. Okay, slight tangent, as I was writing this out I actually kinda thought of this. Ryu could actually be able to semi-negate the lightning sure hit if he understands how it works after seeing Kashimo use it the first time. His curse technique allows him to expel cursed energy, and he can do it from other parts of his body besides the pompadour. So if he sees it coming, he could expel cursed energy from where it hits to try to get Kashimo's positive charges out. It won't be as effective as Hikari's cause he can pair that with RCT, but it could make what will be an instant kill shot to a partially debilitating one. Anyways, it would only work if he saw it coming, and that's where Kashimo's staff and his lightning bolt retrieve will come in. Kashimo will pull the charges back and rip through Ryu in an attack he wouldn't see coming. GG's. Now I said the fight wasn't close, and realistically the hypothetical I showed was at best a mid-diff for Kashimo, so to beat the clickbait allegations, I'll go over that quickly. It's basically the domain diff argument for Ryu against Kashimo. It ignores the end character, he doesn't do it off-rip, and in any realistic fight with Kashimo, he's losing an arm before he can pull it off. Also, never mind that we have no idea what his domain does. For all we know, its sure hit could be a non-lethal technique, cause Tengen mentioned back in the day there were a lot more non-lethal sure hit techniques. My point is, if that we're making them act out of character, then Kashimo should get to use Mythical Beast Amber. And here it helps that I don't even have to use any Yuta Hakari comparisons, because we do know they're actually both Sukuna victims. The best thing you can get from Ryu's encounter with Sukuna is that he's very durable, but he gets speed blitzed and no diffed. Whereas for Kashimo, he gets manhandled and low diffed, but at least he shows that he's fast enough to not get speed blitzed by Sukuna when he blinds him and attacks him from his blind side. Unfortunately, he doesn't have 4 arms, so he was shit out a lot there. So if you combine that with Holowaker Basket, nothing stops Kashimo from literally blitzing up close while holding the seals, and then releasing them to vaporize Ryu's face. Even if you believe Ryu has some adamantium level skin or something so he doesn't die from the hit, he'd at least incur enough damage to lose control and break his domain. And if you want to argue a base Ryu beats Mythical Beast Amber Kashimo, be my guest. Anyways, this was a short one. It's the fastest I've made an entire video before. It certainly helps that JJ has a lot of similar dynamic action scenes, so it's a lot easier to find panels to reuse and repurpose for this. Like if you actually go through the Hakari Kashimo fight, and the hand-to-hand exchanges during Sendai, you notice a number of similar shots and actions taken by the characters. Look, I'm not trying to phrase it like it's a bad thing, because it actually works, and I don't know, it kind of plays into the headcanon I have, that they actually kind of get like MMA lessons from their teachers, so they all would fight somewhat similarly. Anyways, you can find the thumbnail artwork on my socials and in the description. Also, I was kind of playing up the people who think Ryu wins are dumb bit, but it's all in jest. There are reasonable arguments, and if you think that, then fairs. Enlighten me on why you think so in the comments. But that's about it. See y'all later. Peace out.